Today is August 13th. I went to my Azure Standard Drop today and picked up some items, and I thought I'd just go over it all with you, show you what I got, and tell you some prices that I paid for these things. That's always kind of relevant when you're looking at all of these items. Here we go. I'm going to show you what I got. I've started collecting the 5-gallon buckets with the gamma lids to store all of these items I get from Azure. I have found that if I just order them through Azure, the price is good and it's worth it. The lids are $8.80 each compared to like $12.99 at Tractor Supply. The buckets are $7.22 each compared to $4.99 at Tractor Supply. But it ends up being I pay only $16.02 versus $17.98 if I was to go get the same thing at Tractor Supply. So I just order them through Azure. It's easy. I pick them up when I go get my food items. I wash them, dry them really good, and then store things in them. And everything's worked out great. The first item is a 25-pound bag of all-purpose flour. This is my second time to buy one of these. I haven't used my first one yet, but I'm laying in some supplies. I'm just laying in a lot of new supplies for my pantry. This is a 25-pound bag, as I said, and I paid $31.21 for it, which works out to $6.24 per 5 pounds. So if you were to go buy a 5-pound bag at the store, you would compare the price to $6.24. Now, $6.24 is higher than your store brand bags of flour that you can get on sale, but it's lower than the gold medal brands. But this is organic flour, so you have to look at that too. And I feel like $6.24 per 5 pounds is actually not a bad price for this. I also got a 25-pound bag of organic cane sugar. This is the third time I've ordered it. I still have some of the first bag and all of the second bag, but again, I'm laying in a supply. This costs $29.99, so it's basically $6 per 5-pound bag. More than you would pay for store-bought sugar that you can get on sale in the 4-pound bags and all, but a really good price. I love using this cane sugar. I'm going to actually talk about sugar a little bit more in a little while and kind of give you some reasons why I'm ordering this sugar now. But I've been happy with it. My tea tastes really good when I make it with this cane sugar. I've used it for baking, and I'm actually not going back. I'm not going back to the white refined sugar. I'm going to stick with this, and I think it's a pretty good deal for what you pay. This Azure pickup was all about canned goods and dry goods. I didn't get anything for the freezer. I tried this time some pureed pumpkin. I've never bought it before, but the ratings were really good. People said it was delicious. I wanted to lay in a supply of this for my pantry. I paid $31.26 for 12 cans in the flat. That equals $2.60 per can. With Azure, you can buy things in 1 can. You can buy what they call a 3-pack, which is just 3 cans loose, or you can buy 12 cans. Sometimes there's other different ways. But $2.60 per can for the pureed pumpkin with such a good rating, I think is going to be good. A lot of vitamins A and C in this pumpkin. So I'm looking at a lot of things for nutrition reasons, which I'm actually going to talk about a little more in the next item. But I think the $2.60 a can was a good price for this. My next item was black soybeans. Not regular black beans, but black soybeans. And I bought these because of their nutritional value. These beans are loaded down with protein, with fiber, with thiamine, folate, iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium. These beans have it all. And I want to put some things like this on my pantry shelf that are just going to be such a great source of protein and vitamins and minerals. I want to have things like this. And so I wanted to try these beans. You can put them in chili. They'll work out just like regular black beans, but they are jam-packed with vitamins, and also their shelf date goes through like February of 2028. So that's fabulous. So I added them to my pantry this time. The black soybeans were $31.94 for 12 cans, which made them come out to $2.66 per can. I always keep chili beans in stock. It's just something I love to cook with when I make chili. And these were $19.06 for 12 cans, which only came out to $1.59 per can. I know there's specials sometimes on things like this at stores, but right now at my store, I don't even know if I could get them for $1.59, so I thought that was a really good price. When I saw these butter beans, I immediately put them into my cart. They are $33.72 for 12 cans, which comes out to $2.81 per can. Not cheap, but they're not cheap at my grocery store either. And the variety that my grocery store sells, I found out it's a Louisiana company, but I found out that they ship all of their beans, once they're processed, to England, to the UK, have them canned there, and then ship them all the way back overseas down here to sell them. I didn't know that. These beans are grown and raised up in the northwest part of the United States, and they're canned in the United States, locally there, and then just shipped to wherever they're ordered by Azure. I'd rather do something like that, I think, with these butter beans. And I love butter beans, so I wanted to be sure and have a lot of them in my pantry. I stocked up on plenty of refried beans as well. That's another thing I keep. I'm going to use up what I have and then go into these. But they were $23.01 for 12, which comes out to $1.92 per can. So you see the prices aren't hardly any at all more than what you would normally pay at a grocery store, at most grocery stores. So the refried beans, I can always use these, put them in tacos, put them in burritos or enchiladas. We could always use these. I'm trying to stock up on my fruits that are in my pantry because all I really have is pears and a few apples. I went ahead and loaded up on a case of these peaches. They're peaches that are in peach and pear juice, not a heavy syrup. They're $32.16 for 12, which comes out to $2.68 per can, which is a fairly normal price. So I'm trying to do some things like this that'll add some sweetness to the items and the variety I have in my pantry. I think sweet foods will come in handy later on if you really get in a situation where you're eating out of your pantry all the time in a crisis type situation. Having some fruits and things like that would really be good for the fiber and the taste and the sweetness and, like I said, the variety. This is the third time I've placed an order for this whole kernel corn from Azure. I'm stocking up on it. I really enjoy it. I like it. It's sweet corn. It's good. I really think it is better than the GMO brands that we buy at the grocery store. It's $18.01 for 12 cans or $1.50 per can. So that's a good price for me in my mind for an organic corn. It's worth it to me. You could buy the black olives 6 little cans to a bulk price. So I bought just the 6 cans. They're 2.25 ounces. They were $11.91 for 6, which came out to $1.99 per can for organic black olives. This is all we really need. When I do use black olives, I just use a little bit. I don't like to have big, large cans of them. So this is a perfect size, a good price for organic black olives. Azure's August sales flyer announced that they were starting to carry this orange juice. It's 48-ounce bottles of orange juice, and they were $17.97 for 3, which comes out to $5.99 each. So $5.99 for a 48-ounce of orange juice is really a good price. The orange juice at my local stores keeps going up, up, and up. But this is an organic orange juice, and I really feel like, all in all, it's going to be a better quality than kind of the watered-down orange juices we've been getting used to buying. My son will tear this up. He loves orange juice, so for me, it was a really good purchase. I've been ordering 3 jars of this Glen pizza sauce every time I've been ordering lately. I could have just ordered 12 at some point, but I didn't. But they're $11.01 for 3, which comes out to $3.67 each. And I've used it. I've made homemade pizzas, and it is really, really good. So for an organic pizza sauce, it's a good price, I feel. It went a long way. It more than covered the 2 or 3 pizzas that I made. So it's a good size, good flavor. It's a good buy. Their ketchup is a reorder for me as well. This is the second time I've stocked up on it. My son loves it. I haven't said anything about where I get it or that it's organic. All I know is he used to put hot sauce on everything. Everything. Without even hardly tasting it, he would add hot sauce. Now he puts this ketchup on it, so I know he likes it. This ketchup is 20-ounce bottles. It's $10.87 for 3, which comes out to $3.62 per bottle. And to me, that's a good price for this really good ketchup, especially since he loves it. So I think it's worth it for me and for our household for me to buy this. This mustard is a reorder as well. We've been really enjoying this mustard. It's got a good flavor. I ordered one for my daughter a while back. They've been using it. It's 32 ounces, so it lasts a while. I've just been ordering them one at a time. It's $5.70 for this 32-ounce jar. I'm sure there's bulk prices. I don't have those written down, but it's not a bad price just for the size and the convenience and being in a glass jar. As I've been able to afford it, I've gotten a little more picky about my olive oils. This olive oil is made from all olives from Greece, and it's cold pressed and it's organic. It's $27.66 for this 32-ounce bottle. However, I was at my Winn-Dixie the other day and theirs was the same price. But it was kind of like when you buy olive oils these days, you don't really know where all the olives are coming from and where it's shipped from. You have to really know how to read your label to even figure it out. And I've heard a lot of bad things about the olive oil industry. So I'm happy to pay this, especially since it's the same price as I would be paying at the grocery store, to get a really good olive oil that comes from Greece, and it's just a good tasting oil. My last item is this pure lemon juice. I've ordered this 2 or 3 times now. I really like to use it. It's what I use when I'm canning. I've used it in my tomato products. I've used it for baking. It's just really good. I like it better than the real lemon juice that I've always just bought at the store. This is a more pure or an organic lemon juice, and it's really worked out well for me. It's $5.53 for this 16-ounce bottle. So that's a rundown of what I ordered and picked up today at my drop-off for Azure Standard. I'm not really telling y'all all this because I'm pushing Azure. You can get bulk prices at Sam's and Costco and just even good sale prices at your grocery store. I've just kind of evolved over the years and to my philosophy of things and to the reasons I do what I do. I don't really go to places like Costco and Sam's and things like that anymore. Number one is because I don't have any around me. I would have to travel probably 40 to 50 miles either direction. The closest one is probably about the same if I go east or west to get to a Costco. Sam's, there is one a little bit closer for Sam's, but it's still a big hassle. It's still a good long drive, lots of red lights. And I will be completely honest with you, and this is what I mean when I say philosophy about things, is I don't want to go to those places anymore. I just don't want to go to them. I don't want to pay membership fees. I don't want to deal with parking lots. I don't want to really deal with having to take all these items to my car. Even if you find some box tops to put them in, some of them you're still dealing with a lot of bulk things. As a person that's pretty much shopping alone, my husband's with me, but he's in the car and he can't help me should something happen. I'm pretty much alone in these parking lots at these type of places, loading things into cars slowly because everything's in bulk and separated and you're having to fit it all into the back of your car and organize and everything. So it's not a quick job of getting things out of your buggy and into the back of your car. Then you've got a buggy to go take back and everything. I'm just to the point in my life where I don't want to be putting myself into situations a whole lot anymore of going to crowded places, going to populated places, parking in big parking lots that are busy and I can't always get up front, and then dealing with coming out afterwards and loading in my car in those same busy parking lots where I don't feel safe. And so I just don't go anymore. I don't really go. There's an Aldi about 30 miles from me, and every now and then I do go in there, but less and less, because it's the same thing as like a Sam's. You get up to the register and there's no bags unless you buy a bag and pay per bag to bag your stuff you're buying from them. And so you end up with this buggy going out to your car with canned goods. The other day when I went, I actually bought They had cream of chicken soups on sale and some other things that were in cans like that. And I ended up with all these cans all over my back seat. So when I get home, I have to come in my house and grab Walmart bags and stuff I've collected over time, grab bags, bring them to my car, load it all up from my back seat, and then bring it all in only to unload it again 2 seconds later. To me, that's kind of a hassle. And also, Aldi still sells lots of the things that are just made out of all the GMO type ingredients. It's not that they sell anything that's superior to anything at the grocery store, so I really don't need to go to Aldi's a whole lot anymore. One reason I do go to them is because sometimes they'll have decent little toys that I don't see anywhere else, and I'm able to buy little birthday presents and Christmas presents for my grandkids. So that's one plus of Aldi. Not saying I don't ever go to these places, but I'm trying to eliminate them from my life. And even my little grocery stores, I shop at small grocery stores, places where I can pretty much park near the front. My husband sits in the car while I run in. I kind of make quick trips out of it and get back. But even at those stores, I don't go on these big grocery hauls anymore where my buggy's just loaded down and it takes me a long time to check out and everything. I've kind of eliminated items one by one by one. And it's getting less and less and less that I have to go to the grocery store for. So I feel like sometimes even if I pay a little bit more for Azure, number one, I'm getting organic, but number two, it's eliminating a reason for me to have to go to the store in the first place because of all the items I've built up over time from Azure. And if I even think that I might need it, I go ahead and put it in my cart for the next month. And then I'm able to evaluate before I place my order of whether I still need that item. So I can eliminate things, I can judge. I'm not spending money spur of the moment, you would say. You can get caught up, even on Azure, of buying things you don't need because you can get caught up in buying things like chips and salsas and all these things that, yes, they're organic and everything, but I don't need those things, and I make a lot of salsas on my own, so I kind of stay away from anything that I don't feel fits a specific need in our family. I discussed like the black soy beans. I'm trying to stock up and keep in stock a lot of things like that I feel like will just be a useful vegetable to have for nutritious reasons should anything happen. I wanted to just state that systematically stocking up on items, systematically making it where I have things in my house to where I can just pull a supper together any night of the week, between the meats that I've canned, the things that I do keep in my freezer, all the vegetables I have available, all the marinara sauces, all the tomato paste, all the cans of crushed tomatoes that I've canned, all the bulk items like the cane sugar, the flours, the bulk powdered milk mixes, the bulk buttermilk mixes, the cornmeals and everything else, all that I have loaded my house up with, I can pull together a supper any night of the week without going anywhere. I put a little light on in the hallway to kind of maybe stabilize this lighting. It's hard to get the lighting right sometimes when you're inside with your camera. But I wanted to state that that's why when I go to the store now, I don't necessarily have to pick up but a few things, just a few things. I'll make a specific run one day and get lots of toilet paper. I'll make a specific run one day and get things I need to make washing powder out of. So when I do go to the grocery store, I'm really just sometimes just one thing, skimming their aisles just to see if there's anything on sale that I can stock up on, like mayonnaise or things like that. But number two, I'm really just picking up fresh items like cantaloupe that my husband likes to eat for breakfast. I'm picking up cantaloupes, apples, bread, things like that. And I don't have to be under the gun to make these big grocery shopping trips. I have a lot of stuff at home. And by ordering from Azure, I'm able to just make one little trip in the country about 20 miles away from me. Well, it takes about 30 minutes to get there. It might be a little over 20 miles. And I'm able to go there in just a few minutes, load the back of my car with stuff, come home. It's all usually packed up in boxes and cases or in these big 25-pound bags. And I'm able to come home and just kind of deal with it. I'm not fighting grocery stores. I'm not burning a bunch of gas to go to far away big Costco's and stuff and spending half a day doing that. My time is better spent ordering like this, like I do, and then just hitting the grocery stores to get my perishables, to get a few things that I need, some fresh milk, things like that. And then I have so much bulk things built up that I'm kind of done. I don't look at it really. I did at first look at it as, oh my goodness, Azure's expensive. But I actually, in the end, I don't feel that they are. I don't feel that they are. I look at it item by item, and if it ends up being a few more cents than what I spend somewhere else, I have to remind myself that what am I paying for? I'm paying for an organic product that has so many fewer ingredients than the things that I buy at the store. I'm buying things that are grown by farmers that are known to the people that own Azure, and they keep up with all that stuff. I'm putting some trust in them that what they are saying on their website and in their descriptions is true. And I'm putting some trust in them, and I'm going to rely on that right now because there's not a whole lot of places you can trust. I live here in South Louisiana. We grow lots of sugarcane down here in South Louisiana. We have big sugar refineries in the outlying areas around Baton Rouge and in South Louisiana. It's big, big business. But what I have learned through the years, and I did not know this the whole time I was growing up, is a lot of sugar manufacturers, not naming who or what, I've just heard in generically, a lot of the white refined sugar that we buy in bags contains other products that are like fillers in them. And some of these products are cow bones that are ground into powder and then eventually are put in as a filler into sugar to make bulk. So part of your bag is not complete sugar sometimes. I have heard that that is one way that they have found to use cow bones after they slaughter cows and stuff, is to grind them into a powder and use them as a filler in things like sugar. I don't want to know that. I've heard on other channels some things that are used in bread as fillers. For all the loaves of bread they have to make in the world, they don't make them all out of just pure flour. They use other things as fillers. And I don't want that anymore. I don't really want that if I can help it. I still buy loaves of bread every now and then for convenience, but I've also learned to make bread, and I make good bread. I just don't always have it right when we need it, so sometimes it's easy to just go grab a loaf at the store if I'm going to get a cantaloupe or something. So I like knowing now that I'm doing the best I can for what I think is still a good price to buy food that's decent and it's organically grown, refined as little as possible, like this cane sugar. This cane sugar is not refined like your white sugar is. And it's okay because it comes to you a little bit brown looking, it's tan looking, but I'm okay with that. Does it taste good? It tastes delicious. Does it make my iced tea good? It makes my iced tea delicious. And that's all I'm really worried about. So I don't mind paying a little bit more to know I'm getting something that is not just crazily refined like the sugar that I've been buying for many, many years. And sometimes you think to yourself, well, you've been doing this all your life and you're not dead yet. I mean, no, you're not. But I have been honest before on my channel and mentioned that sometimes I ache a lot. I have a lot of joint pain. I have thought that I was getting arthritis. There was nights when I would go to bed that even just putting my hand under my cheek would hurt to the point where I couldn't lay my head on my hands. And I just accepted the fact that I was probably getting arthritis. And I have learned, didn't really know, I'm not real up on a lot of the health things that a lot of people are up on. I didn't realize that this refined sugar and all, not only is it bad for people with cancer, it's actually a fuel for cancer, but also it can cause just inflammation like crazy in your body that causes you to be achy like I was. There would be days I'd be fine, and then there would be other days when my hands would be killing me so bad, it would hurt so bad. And I got to the point I couldn't open jars, I couldn't do anything. And I just accepted mentally that I had gotten arthritis and was probably going to have it to the day I died. And that was that. But what I have learned is that when I have finally used the last of my white refined sugar and I've transferred over strictly to the cane sugar, that while it's not completely gone, I don't have as much as I used to. And I think as I transition to a lot of these pure ingredients, I think I'm going to maybe reverse a little bit my health things. I have had a problem with just not being able to jump in with all, I have to eat healthy all the time. It's still very hard for me because I am feeding other people, and not everybody wants to eat like that. Not everybody likes the particular vegetables I eat. Not everybody likes all the vegetables I grow. Some of that is strictly just my preference. But when you have to turn around and feed a family, sometimes you have to cook different. I just had my 5-year-old grandson spend 2 nights with us. We just took him home a few minutes ago. He eats completely different than we eat, and I can give him whatever I want to try it, but he's not going to eat it sometimes. So it's not always possible in my life, is what I'm saying, to just jump in and eat 100% organic and everything's great. Life doesn't work that way. But I'm trying. And if I can work things little by little by little and see results, like seeing my hands feel better, feeling like I can grip a little harder, feeling like I can open a jar now and all, I'm going to do that. And it's worth it to me to pay a buck or so more for a 5-pound bag of something. I buy it in bulk, so it's cheaper, but my cost comparison a while ago was comparing it to if you bought a 5-pound bag at the store, because you can't really go to the store and buy a 25-pound bag of sugar or flour. So that's my thoughts on this. That's my thoughts. I feel like having it, making it where it's available when you want to make a recipe, is actually in the long run, even if you do pay a little bit more, you've got this good quality food and it's available in your pantry because you bought it in bulk, like 12 cans to a flat. And it, to me, is worth the few cents extra you pay for it. That's my spiel. This is not a commercial for Azure. There may be other services you can order things from. I see people advertise for Thrive and other Factor and other places where you can order a lot of food. My whole point is just do something, kind of change the way you think maybe. I used to make a menu and I used to cook the food that we wanted each week. Oh, let's make spaghetti this week. We'll go out and buy everything for spaghetti. Oh, I'd love to make this chicken casserole that I hadn't made in a while. Go out and buy everything for the chicken casserole. I used to cook that way, and I used to think in terms of a menu all the time and then go get what the menu called for. And my whole thinking is just completely different now. I just buy a lot of the bulk basics. I buy a lot of the bulk. I keep a full pantry. And then I just figure something out every night out of all that. I just figure something out. Do I have time to thaw something? I'll thaw something. Do I not have time? I'll use a can of jarred meat or salmon in a can or something like that. I think of it different ways now, but it works. And I don't feel that I'm spending any more money on groceries than I ever did. And if I am spending more, it's okay, because what I'm actually doing is expanding my pantry. I'm not just spending the money and then we're eating it during that week or 2 weeks and then we're going back to the store. I'm spending it and I've got all this stuff in my pantry. So to me, it's worth it. I would hope you maybe give Azure a try. I don't have a link. There is a way on Azure that I could do a link and I could end up with a $25 credit for every new person that signed up to Azure. But I haven't set up all that yet. It's not my thing to really worry about that as far as just talking about it. I just wanted to share with you what I bought today. I shared with you my very first Azure trip, and I showed you what all I bought. Since then, I've pretty much gone every month. I started on January 1st, New Year's Day this year, with my first Azure drop, and this is August, so I've done it 8 times now. I've enjoyed it. I've met some wonderful people out there. Everybody just seems so nice and normal. So if ever you're not wanting to do something like this because you're just kind of shy to go do the drop, just do the drop. I was shy too, but I finally got over it and went and did it, and I really am glad I did. So no pressure for anything, just giving you some thoughts to go on tonight that maybe buying in bulk and having things at your house will keep you out of the grocery stores a whole lot, which may save you money on the back end. You already have it. You'll slowly, as you order things in bulk, build up a really good pantry. And I think in the end, that will serve us well. If something should happen tomorrow and you don't want to go to the store, guess what? You've got a lot of food put back. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. Thank you so much for visiting with me this evening and let me show you what I bought. I appreciate it. And y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.